A different approach to setting goals. Goals, why do they frustrate so many of us? I've noticed a consistent trend in my coaching. Typically, right when we set goals, we're committing to an outcome. Usually that outcome is a result that we've never reached before. This means that either we need to be doing more of something or doing some things differently. In either case, it triggers discomfort, hesitation, maybe even some resistance and self-doubt. In this episode, I'm going to share a completely different approach to setting goals that I use to help my clients break free from the traditional goal-setting traps. We'll explore why the word goal itself might be holding you back, and I'll introduce you to a powerful framework that focuses on achievement, creation, and experiences instead. We'll dive into exactly how high performers stack wins, use strategic self-talk, and maintain momentum even when things get uncomfortable. Let's dive in and explore how to turn your aspirations in 2025 into a reality that actually works. Today I'm going to talk about goal setting. It's that time of year. 24 is almost over. 25 is almost upon us. And I'm going to talk about the observations that I've made, the things and lessons that I've learned over the last 17 years with coaching high performers and also being on the journey and in the process of achieving my own goals here at Lapin 180. One of the first things I want to talk about, getting right into it, is the vernacular. The term goal, I've noticed, tends to cause everybody a little bit of frustration or annoyance or caution, trepidation. Because throughout our lives, most of us have set goals, but we've also experienced the setbacks of not achieving them. Because anytime we set a goal, if you think about it, we're setting something that's a result. It's an outcome that we've not ever accomplished. And so in order to accomplish that new outcome, that new result, we have to do either more stuff or different stuff to make that goal happen. And anytime we have to do more or different, we always feel discomfort, agitation, annoyance, frustration, because it's new and different and we don't trust the activity yet. We don't trust the behavior yet. And so here we are investing time and effort into those new behaviors, those new activities, whether more or different, to get to that new goal, that new result. So we end up burning out a lot. 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 8 weeks in. I've been there. First thing I want you to do is just change the terminology. And hear me out. Change it to what I would call ACE, which is achievement, creation, and experience. Because that's what it is. You are always in this process of achieving something. You are always in a process of creating something and experiencing something. And the beautiful thing about it is you're the catalyst. Whether you like it or not, you are the catalyst. So right now, what I want you to do is start writing out what is it that you want to achieve, create, and or experience 1 year from now. Achievement, it's usually factual, very objective things, all right? Usually, right? I want to achieve a financial goal. Great, write it down. I want to achieve getting out of debt, paying off my mortgage, right? Paying off a student loan, whatever it might be. Great, write it down, right? I want to achieve this reward or this recognition next year. Or I want to achieve a certain level of health and or fitness, right? You are achieving something. Great, write it down. Creation, a little bit more interesting, right? Creation is kind of like this ongoing component. I want to create a network that supports my financial goals. I want to create a stronger centers of influence network, right? I want to create a pipeline that supports my financial goals. I want to create a pipeline for 25 and 2026, right? I want to create better processes around my health. I want to create better processes in my business, how I go about my activities, my conversations. That's creation. And you can apply that same concept to your personal life too, whatever it is you want to create there. And then experience. talking to a lot of high performers, experience is their favorite. They love to create experiences. All right. Experiences could be with family, right? It could be travel, right? It could be an event. It could be a relationship, right? Those are experiences. And you can sit back if you think about it and you can visualize how you want those relationship experiences to play out, how you want travel experiences, and so forth. The other thing about experience is really cool. It's about our interactions. What do we want to experience on a daily basis, right? You know that on a weekly basis. What do you want to experience if you're in sales in your conversations? Visualize it. Next time that prospect throws you a curveball, visualize yourself handling it with poise and calmness and asking questions and not getting defensive. That's an experience. You want to experience more wins, right? So maybe what you visualize is more experiences where you are asking tough questions. Maybe you're visualizing the experience of next time that prospect throws you a softball and you jump to solve like every other salesperson would do. You catch yourself, you slow down, and you start asking questions. Then you come back to it, right? Maybe it's how you experience you setting up a meeting, how you start the meeting from a position of peer-to-peer, how you end the meeting where you're asking that prospect or all of your prospects, what did they take from the meeting? What do they think would be valid or relevant next steps, right? You start to visualize yourself creating these new experiences for you, your prospects, and your clients. So again, think about it, right? What do you want to experience different 1 year from now? And my gut is most all of you are going to say in some shape, form, or fashion, less anxiety, right? Less hesitation, less holding yourself back, less annoyance, agitation, disappointment, frustration. Okay, well then let's start that process, right? Of how you are visualizing your conversations. And then as all of you know, how you are strengthening your mindset to create those experiences that you just visualized in your conversations. Again, the cool thing about all of that, you are the catalyst. Your mindset and how you practice your self-talk before a conversation and during a conversation is what's going to drive the coolness of your new experiences in your conversation. So let's talk a little bit more, all right? Let's talk about some things that you can do to support the process. The first thing I want to talk about is stacking wins, right? High performers stack wins. And what I mean by that is every morning they've got some kind of routine that they do, whether it's gratitude, right? Breathing, exercise, reading, whatever it might be, going for a walk, that cup of coffee, right? Getting up early when no one else is up, getting to the office early when no one else is in the office. Those are wins. And we all know that. They make us feel good. They make us feel like we're ahead of the game. Gratitude, as you all know, is simple. Write down what went well that day. And as you all know, if you know my coaching, if you know my team's coaching, Pam and Christy, we always tell you this. It's the little things that we want you to pay attention to mostly. Great. List off the big things that you're grateful for. Awesome. It's those little things that keep things churning. When I have a client that's doing really well and killing it during the year and they know who they are, what do I always tell them? I tell them, make sure you get back into that gratitude and you identify and acknowledge the little things each day that you're very grateful for, right? Breathing. We've had Doc Potterat on here, Dr. Eric Potterat. He was on recently in our podcast. I think it's episode 150, 151, and 152, right? He talks about the importance of breathing from a cognitive function standpoint, keeping us calm, keeping us poised, how it impacts our hearing, our judgment, our memory, our ability to ask questions. Breathing, right? 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 4 minutes, 3-4 times a day. Transcendental meditation, fine as well. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. Whatever it is that keeps you or puts you into that calm, clear state, right? Stack the win. Exercise, reading. Reading's about knowledge. Read for 10 or 15 minutes. We all love the feeling when we read something and we gain knowledge. It's like that dopamine release. We all know it and we love that feeling. All right, so why not do it every morning? Read 10 or 15 minutes. Next thing we got to do as you move toward what you want to achieve, create, and experience, self-talk. You got to have the self-talk. So one of the big things that most of you will know if you've been coached by Lap 180 is if you want to make an achievement of $500K a year in income, or you want to achieve $1 million in income or $2 million in income, you can't just say to yourself, I'm going to make $500K in 2025, or I'm going to make $1 million in 2025. I mean, you can say it, but you know what's going to happen. The little voice inside you is going to kick in and go, how do you know? You've never done it before. Not a good starting point. Doesn't feel good, right? And it's a process. It's not a result. So remind yourself instead of, hey, I'm in the process. I'm in the process of meeting the people I need to meet this year and building the relationships I need to build to make $1 million this year, right? I'm in the process of revamping, right, my routines, my behaviors, doing some things different, making some mistakes so I can make $1 million this year, right? I'm in the process of learning what I need to learn to make $1 million this year, and so forth. But you can tell, right, when you say it to yourself, it feels good because you're being honest with yourself. You are in the process of doing any one of those things or whatever else to achieve, create, and experience what you want 1 year from now. The other thing I like from a self-talk standpoint, James Clear said this. He said it a little bit different, but if you think about it, it's so true, right? Discomfort is coming, right? Anytime we want to create something new, achieve something new, experience something new, discomfort is coming because we're going to have to do things different or more to get there. Otherwise, we would have already created it. So every day, try to remind yourself, when it comes to taking those key actions, making those key decisions, right? Every action that you do take, right, is toward what you want to create, experience, and achieve 1 year from now. Every action that you take, right, is a vote in the direction of where you want to go. Every action that you don't take, though, is a vote in the direction of just staying right where you already are. So, and think about that, right? It's your self-talk. How do you manage your way? How do you guide yourself through those moments when you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't know if you want to try it again, you don't want to know if you want to do this new routine again, you're not even sure it's paying off? You got to remind yourself it's a process. And that action in that moment in time, whether you have a good result or not, is so important because it's either going to be a vote toward where you want to go or it's a vote toward where you're just going to stay. Another thing I like to share that you can use, and we've had Dr. Rachel Thoreau on just recently as well, right, is her idea, Spot the Success. All right. It's all about the power of self-talk. And in Spot the Success, what she talks about is it's a little bit like gratitude, but it's very specific towards your actions. Every day, write down the actions that you took. Doesn't matter if they were successful or not. Write down the actions that you took to contribute and move yourself toward what you want to achieve, create, or experience. Recognize them. Think about them. Write them down. Right? Spot the success. You are acknowledging your progress, whether it's incremental or whatever it might be, right? It has a positive effect on your mindset toward what you're trying to achieve, create, and experience. All right. We've also talked about Dr. Martha Beck. She was not on our podcast, but we referenced her once when we were talking about sensorization, visualization, right? And she talks about the idea of visualizing what you're trying to create, achieve, and experience. She uses different terminology and articulates it a little bit better probably than I'm doing right now. But again, the idea is when you're going to sleep, spend a minute or two or three and think about, what are you achieving? Think about yourself achieving it. What are you creating? Think about how you will feel in the moment when you create it. And then, right, what are you experiencing? Put yourself in that moment where you're experiencing those types of conversations with your prospects, your clients, or your family that you want to experience more of. Lastly, wrapping it up here, very interesting exercise, okay? I want you to make 3 lists. I want you to write down, when you think about what you want to achieve, create, and experience, what do you need to do more of to achieve, create, or experience 1 year from now? And write down all those things you need to do more of. Then I want you to write down all the things you want to do different to achieve, create, and experience what you want 1 year from now. And then the last list, and leave it to last, I want you to write down, what do you want to leverage more, do the same, because it's a strength, and write that list down. The answer toward how do you get from today to what you want to achieve, create, and experience is on that list, right? Whether it's mindset, the self-talk, process, learning something different, morning routine, stacking the wins, support group, right? Putting people around you that not only support you and encourage you, but will also call you out because they care, right? What do you want to do more? What do you want to do different? What is it okay to do the same? I want to thank you for being with us in 2024. I really do. I know there's so many choices that you have out there from a podcast standpoint. Time is so important, I know. Energy is so important. And so I truly am grateful that you decide to spend your time and energy with us and listening to Breaking Sales. I'm really looking forward to 2025. We're going to have a lot of really cool guests. And as you know, our guests tend to be more of those who have the data and the research and the experience behind whatever they share, right? Versus just an opinion, right? So we're going to try to continue that trend on bringing experts in who have literally done the research on so many of the things that we all talk about to be a high performer. Have a great new year. As we wrap up this episode, I want you to consider something. Every action you take is a vote, either for where you want to go or for staying exactly where you are. Your achievements, creations, and experiences in the year ahead won't come from one big decision, but from all those small little decisions where you choose to take action even when it's uncomfortable. Remember, you are the catalyst, whether it's stacking those morning wins, practicing intentional self-talk, or just taking one step forward in your process. These aren't just tasks to check off. They're investments in becoming the person who can achieve, create, and experience what you envision. I want to thank you for spending your valuable time and energy with us on Breaking Sales. Looking ahead to 2025, we'll continue bringing you guests who back their insights with real research and data, not just opinions, because that's what you deserve: practical, proven strategies to perform at your highest levels. Keep moving forward in your process, and we'll see you in the new year.